This is the latest transfer news. People are getting worried now that the season is only 2 days away for us. 2 days away from the Premier League season, 3 days away from our first game against Wolves, and people are getting worried about Arsenal not having added any players yet apart from Calafiori. But am I worried yet? Not quite yet. I know we are going to sign players still. I still believe we're going to sign players. On Monday, I told you guys that Edu was spotted in Spain trying to get a deal done, and today it has been confirmed by David Ornstein. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about the latest on Nketiah. Is he going to leave? Is he going to stay? Bruno Guimaraes is now back in the picture again, and let's get started. So this is the latest from David Ornstein regarding Mikel Merino. He says Arsenal are stepping up efforts to sign Mikel Merino from Real Sociedad. Talks ongoing, plus Edu has been in Spain this week to pursue agreement. Personal terms for 28-year-old midfielder, no issue. Likely needs an exit from Arsenal, whether before or after. And then proceeds to say this. This is the next thing that he said. Mikel Merino is keen to join Arsenal and play under Mikel Arteta, with personal terms not thought to be an issue. Although Real Sociedad have offered him an extension, the player's representatives have made clear that his intention is to join Arsenal. So as always, that is always great to hear. A player who definitely wants to join you, a player who definitely wants to move to you, doesn't want to stay in their team, like Sesko, for example. If a player is thinking about staying in their team, if a player is thinking about going to a different team, then that becomes a problem. But if it's guaranteed that he wants to join your team, then that makes it easy. Not easy just in terms of you going for him, also in terms of forcing the other team to sell him. So even if Sociedad wanted to keep him, doesn't matter how much they want to keep him, they have to try and get rid of him because they don't want to keep a player who doesn't want to stay there. So that is a welcome. And to know that Merino actually wants to join us is quite big, because Zubimendi has rejected like 4 or 5 teams over the last couple of months because he wants to stay at Real Sociedad. And as I always say with these Spanish players, most of them like to stay in their team, or if they're moving away from their team, they want to go to a Real Madrid or Barcelona. We've already seen it this transfer window with Zubimendi, and we've already seen it with Nico Williams as well. Nico Williams is staying at Bilbao, so it's very hard to convince those Spanish players to move away from their teams. So it's great to know that Merino is happy to join Arsenal, and Sociedad know about that. And as David Ornstein has said, Edu has been in Spain to try and complete this deal for the 28-year-old. We were hoping, obviously, to get it done as quickly as possible. Doesn't look like we're going to have him for the first Premier League game. Let's hope between now and before the Premier League season starts, let's say between now and Saturday, we have a breakthrough, and then we hear an announcement even over the weekend, and then it'd be available for the Aston Villa game, because we need to get some deals done for sure. Like, we need a bench. I've already set up my preview for the Wolves game, and I was looking at the bench and I was like, we still need more here, especially if Nketiah and Nelson leave. We don't have enough players on the bench. You still need more players there. Unless everyone is fit, then it will be okay. But even if everyone is fit anyway, we still need some more attacking options in case of an injury, and just to have more depth in those positions, we definitely need someone. And Merino as well, in case Smith has already left, so Merino to replace him. So as David Ornstein says in this as well, is it this or this? This. So Arsenal, likely we need an exit from Arsenal for us to complete this deal. So that is what has also been reported. So let's catch up with the other reports before I give you guys my thoughts. So according to Radio Marca, Arsenal and Real Sociedad have started talks of a move for Mikel Merino. Real Sociedad have rejected Arsenal's first offer, which arrived in the last few hours. Valuations for the 28-year-old remain apart. Now, this is what Marca from Spain has reported. And then a few minutes ago, I've just read that Real Sociedad were expecting Arsenal to offer them something like, I think, 20 million or less than 20 million. But Arsenal's offers actually surprised Real Sociedad. That is what they're saying. Real Sociedad are shocked that Arsenal have offered that much money for Merino, but they've rejected it still. Like, how does that work? Like, they're shocked that Arsenal have offered that much, but they've rejected it. And they want more than that. Now, as I always tell you guys, since Declan Rice and Calafiori and all those guys, sometimes you need to be careful of how you're approaching or your first bid and all that. If you go to a team and you say, okay, we're going to give you 50 million, and that is what they wanted, and that is your first offer, that team will be like, no, actually, you know what? These guys seem like they have money. You know what? We actually want 70 million. So there's always that risk of just when fans saying, just pay the money, just pay the money. Doesn't necessarily mean they're always going to say yes to that money. Yes, 50% is going to be yes, 50% is going to be, actually, no, we actually wanted more than that. So I've read that somewhere on X right now, saying that they are happy with Arsenal's offer, or they are shocked with Arsenal's offer, but they still want more money. So I don't know how that one works, but they rejected our first bid. I'm sure we're going to go into the second bid. It's not far apart. I think we were talking about 20-something million pounds, and they want like maybe 30 million pounds or something like that. So we are away from the offer by like 8-9 million pounds. I think we're going to get it sorted. Hopefully get it sorted as quickly as possible. The Calafiori one took like 3 weeks to get sorted, so it does take time. There's this as well. Merino is not the only name on Arsenal's radar. Other options whose identities are yet to have been disclosed remain under consideration. So this is from Ryan Taylor Sport. In terms of midfield, I think we're definitely going to get Merino. I don't think you're going to go for any other, but we're going to talk about Bruno Guimaraes getting back to the radar, Arsenal's radar. So it could be that, but it could also mean like after Merino, we are looking at other players, which is great to hear, because we definitely need another 2 signings. The good thing is that yes, we are keeping most of the players from last season, apart from Smith Rowe, apart from Nketiah, and I think Nelson is going to leave. The others, I'm happy to keep all of them for sure. Nelson could even end up staying, but in terms of quality, they cannot match up to Saka. So we definitely still do need more players. So it's great to hear Ryan Taylor Sport saying that, yeah, we are going to get more players in this transfer window after Merino, and you have other options. So as was the case with Ricardo Calafiori, Arsenal are likely to want assurance of significant departure before they can proceed to the final stages of any deal for Mikel Merino. This is according to David Ornstein. As things stand, the likeliest player to make way for Merino is Nketiah. So we do need to sell players before buying Merino. Now, I do think we have enough money. I think I've also read somewhere an hour ago saying that Arsenal don't really have any problems with PSR. They don't want to get into those problems. I'm sure we have money to sign the players, but I think we do need to get rid of players before we sign them, according to the reports. How much do we need to raise? How much does it have any correlation, or do we just need to, offload the player because of the wages so that we can give those wages to Merino? Or is it the fact that we don't have enough money, we have to get rid of someone and then buy someone? I don't know, but I think we have to kind of, know that a team is about to sign Nketiah and then try and pay that money for Mikel Merino. I think it's that is what they're waiting for. Then if that is the case, then we'll have to also sell the likes of Nelson before we get a striker and maybe a right wing or something. I don't know the plan. I don't know what the budget is looking like. We've never been told that this transfer window. So we just have to hope that Merino does join, Nketiah does get a team and you get that money. Nelson does get a team and we get that money. And you do end up signing a striker or a winger. Let's see how that one goes. And lastly, on that, Edu is understood to be prioritizing the signing of a central midfielder, with Mikel Merino a lead target. Arsenal are also open to attacking reinforcements, either a wide forward or a striker, though any move is likely to be dependent on outgoings. So Ryan Taylor Sport stays the same. We are looking at outgoings first, and then so that we can use that money to get our players or use those wages. I don't know. But the only player that is currently linked to the move away, we know 3 or 4 players could still end up leaving. Nketiah, Nelson, Ramsdale. I think those are the ones. I don't think anyone else is going to leave. There's been rumors of Zinchenko and Partey leaving, but I don't think they're going to leave, especially now. Zinchenko performing very well in the last 2 preseason games and Partey performing really well in the last couple of preseason games. I don't think you can sell them. Kivio is the other one who could end up leaving. So Nketiah, Nelson, Kivio, Ramsdale, 3 of them could end up leaving, but I don't know how it's going to work out. If someone doesn't leave this transfer window, it could be in January. So let's see. So that's player who could leave. What's the latest on Nketiah? Bournemouth have opened dialogue with Arsenal over a move for Nketiah in the past few days. Crystal Palace also like the player, but they are yet to follow up interest shown in the early stages of the summer market. Edu has been resolute during club-to-club talks with valuation of Nketiah, who Arsenal believe is worth upwards of 25 million plus a potential sell-on clause. The club were always confident Premier League suitors would emerge from Nketiah in the latter stages of the window when they were low-balled by Marseille. So that is what I've always said as well. I am confident teams are going to come in for Nketiah between now and the end of the season. Marseille is not the last option. Like, I was 100% sure someone will come in for him, not even just the Premier League teams. I'm sure by the time we get to next week, you'll hear, Lens one team, they want to replace their striker who's just left. We'll hear, a Roma one team or a Galatasaray one team. We'll hear teams that want him. Now, it depends on whether he wants to go to those teams, but I'm sure teams are going to come in for him. Teams are going to get desperate. Teams are going to sell their strikers. They're going to need cheaper strikers in the market, not too many strikers who are available. The reason why Tottenham have ended up paying, close to 70 million for Solanke is because there's not too many other strikers in the market. Like, if Tottenham had other options, I'm sure they wouldn't have gone for Solanke, but all the strikers who are available, too expensive. Gyökeres, Osimhen, Tony. No one has gone for Tony. A lot of teams wanted Tony before the season ended. Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham. Man United, but the money is too much. So that is why most of the players are not being bought. But for Nketiah, I'm sure he will get a team that wants him, and then we could end up selling him. Now, the only issue is if you're dependent on him leaving and then to get another player, then that kind of also delays us in terms of our plan. If we had already gotten our signings in, and then now we're just trying to sell players, that would have been great, because our team is ready. The ones who are not going to play, we are waiting for them to leave. That's it. Is not really going to affect our team, but at the moment it is affecting our team, because we do need Nketiah to leave or to get someone who's very, very interested in adding Nketiah, and they're currently in talks for us to go and get Merino. So it is connected. It is connected. This is what has also been reported by Sam C. Bournemouth are strongly interested in signing Eddie Nketiah as a replacement for Dominic Solanke. So, as I've said, teams will sell their players. Teams will, players could get injured. Players could, Nketiah could get desperate to leave, and then teams will come in for him. At the end of the day, we might not get that 30 million that we're asking for. Yes, we might not get that. But even if we get 27, 28 million or the 25 million, actually what I was asking for, I was actually happy to give Marseille Eddie Nketiah on loan with an obligation to buy next season. I was actually happy with that when that news came out, but they didn't want that. So we have to include something there, either a sell-on clause or bonuses or, add-ons. It can't just be 20 to 23 million flat without any add-ons at all. No. If it's 25 million plus 5 million in add-ons later, 23 million, 7 million in add-ons like the Smith Rowe one, I'd be happy with that. Then after that, we can proceed in terms of selling him to whichever team that wants him, and then work on our transfers as well. So let's hope we have this one is sorted out very, very soon, because we need to work on our transfers. So could we end up getting another midfielder, as Ryan Taylor Sport has said? Midfield is Edu's priority, and you're not really looking at in case we don't get Merino or someone, we have other options. Bruno Guimaraes is back on the news. Multiple Premier League clubs are monitoring the situation of Newcastle midfielder Bruno Guimaraes. Manchester City's interest in the player is strong. However, Arsenal are also there. Now, this is not the first time you're going to be battling for midfielder at Man City. Last season it was Declan Rice, us and Man City for Declan Rice. This season it could be Bruno Guimaraes, but this season it could be them winning that battle. Last season we beat them to Declan Rice. I feel like this season they could beat us to Bruno Guimaraes, or Bruno Guimaraes just ends up staying there. If we beat Man City to Bruno Guimaraes as well, that would be unbelievable. But there's a lot of issues pointing out to us not getting Bruno Guimaraes. The fact that Man City have just pocketed 80 million plus from the Alvarez sale, they have money there to buy Bruno Guimaraes. Number two, the fact that we got Declan Rice and they didn't get anyone last season, I think they'll push even harder. And also we'll be looking at Merino and looking at maybe a forward and wing, and we wouldn't really push that hard as much as we are pushing last season for Declan Rice. Or like I said, we needed a midfielder badly last season. If we didn't have Declan Rice, we'd have been in problems. So this season, Man City are the ones who need him more than us. I really want Bruno Guimaraes, but I'm sure in the transfer market, Man City feel we need to get this player. They got Declan Rice. We can't let them get Bruno Guimaraes as well. So that also works. So in terms of money, they have the money. In terms of us beating them to Declan Rice, they have more motivation to try and get him. If we ended up getting Bruno Guimaraes ahead of them again, that would be absolutely historic. But there's a lot of reasons pointing out to him not joining. Another one is we currently have Partey still in the team, Rice and Jorginho. Can you really tell Bruno Guimaraes you're going to join this team where there's already Jorginho and there's already 2-3 other midfielders in those positions? He would be concerned. He'd be like, am I definitely going to start? You've also just added Merino. You have 4 midfielders. I'm not going to join. So he could feel that way. And at Man City, there's only really Rodri. Kovacic could be leaving anytime. And Calvin Phillips is not the answer for them. He could be leaving anytime. So they only really have Rodri in those midfield positions. And De Bruyne is always injured. So they'd be interested in getting Bruno Guimaraes. He would be interested in going to Man City more than Arsenal, I feel like. So that's the latest in terms of the of today's news. Let's hope we get this Merino deal done as quickly as possible. We only have 3 days to go to the Premier League. He's not going to feature in that game. We have to go with the squad that we have to play against Wolves. Let's get that win. And then over the next couple of weeks to try and get some more deals done and some more sales done as well. Let me know what you make of all that. Thank you for. I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.